Okay. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Bo Guo, representing Gistic Research. And joining me here, we have Carol Francis and John Erlen, who are both the GIS analyst and project manager. And we're delighted to have this opportunity to share our experience and journey towards a more collaborative and integrated kind of approach, and also user-friendly approach to NextGen 911 and GIS-T in general. So in the interest of saving some limited bandwidth sometimes we have, and I'm going to turn off my video, and Carol and John will be monitoring the chat session. So yeah, so allow me to do that. Okay. We have three aspects to talk about, or four in this case. Well, NextGen 911, we're focusing on the compliance collaboration aspects, and we also have the address management, which we will not touch today. Then in the transportation, we are very strong in linear referencing, providing solutions and services and applications development, and roads and highway and HPMS. We'll have a demo on product like that. And thirdly, we'll talk about the business intelligence and automation, which enables many of the data dashboards we have built for Arizona Department of Transportation. So we started the GIVE platform about 3 years ago with the focus on solving the perennial integration challenges that all of you can relate. Okay, so first of all, so we have a integration challenge. Typically, you have a county agency with GIS. They export the county data set, send to the state agency. Then state needs to essentially do a QC and remove old data from, old version of the county and integrate it and fix some attributes, non-standardized attribute, need to fix it. Then they put into the statewide GIS. Then they export as a shapefile or geodatabase. They send it back to the state, county, to the county agencies, and then they pray. I'm hoping next time the errors that fixed will not come back, because this is a cycle. This cycle could be going on for couple, 3 times a year, right? And I'm pretty sure you're also familiar with this scenario. And you probably even know who this person represents in North Carolina. In Arizona, I can tell you that used to be Jean Trovia, and now is Jenna Levier, who are essentially the lead in our kind of state GIL position. And in Arizona, we only have 15 counties. And I know, I just checked, in North Carolina, you have 100 counties. You have 100 cats to deal with. So it's not easy task at all. Next. All right. So we developed a workflow, and first of all, we like to see child parent agency workflow. So you have the parent agency, you have the child agency in this hierarchy, and you have the GIVE platform. So GIVE platform essentially allows user to upload their data, and it will allows users to review their data and QC their data. If there's any error, and user gets to know and they update their database, and then going through this entire cycle without state agency having to do anything at this moment. Only when the data meets the state standard, NETA standard, then the user can submit and the agency can approve the submittal. So this is what the AZGIV, the entire platform, is all about. Now let's look at the hierarchy of the agency. And we have 3 levels. In fact, you have the state 911 office, you have the regional 911 authority, then regional 911 authority in our state, in state of Arizona, is equivalent more or less like the county, okay, group by county. Then each county might have some local agency, the cities and other special districts, especially those that having GIS capabilities, they participate in this collaboration. Okay, so as an example, we have the AZ 911 office, we have the Yavapai County 911 authority, then you have Prescott, Cottonwood, and Prescott Valley being 3 main communities, in addition to the vast rural areas in that particular county. So we need to support multi-level, not just the state to county level, but essentially supporting additional level of agencies participation. So we have 2 pieces in the process we built. One is the web UI, which is also the server piece plus the web UI, of course. And this web UI allows you to go over there and submit data and checking and loading data, what have you. Then we also added a ArcGIS Pro and ArcGIS ArcMap earlier. Now we have ArcGIS Pro version called Sidekick. And the Sidekick essentially allows user within do easy giving loading quality QC session completely inside ArcGIS Pro without having to use a web browser session. And it does allows you to make edit. Then you can upload to see the result of edit. And if there are additional errors, you come back and fix it. Okay, so these are 2 pieces. And with that, we have a YouTube channel with multiple playlists, one of which is AZGIV. I'd like to take this opportunity to so this is our LinearBench channel. You can search for LinearBench or Gistic research. And these are the GIV platform related things. You have the AZGIV readiness platform, Sidekick, and also Fishbone. I might have a chance to show Fishbone today a little bit as well. And schema mapping and whole 9 yards. So we have a series of this supporting the NextGen 911 community in Arizona. Okay, let me come back here. And now we are ready to do a demo. So this demo is here. Okay. So this is the dashboard, the UI demo, this web UI demo. And as you can see, address points was loaded. Okay. And we have the center line being loaded. And I'm going to load this one more time. Okay, just to see, because the state says, in fact, it's all QC state. So we're going to load. So drag a table we can load from a zip file. I'm loading in Greenly data file and say open. So in this case, we are only loading, again, this is a GDB file. Okay, zipped up GDB file has multiple feature classes. We are only doing the address here. So once we have this, we can preview of some of the lists. We know this one maps to address point because this is the only point data set within the NextGen 911 standard. Okay, so you can preview saying, hey, this is the data we like to load. Then you can say next. Then this is perhaps the most complicated schema mapping kind of UI within the entire application. Everything else is much straightforward. However, so this is the NINA standard. This is mandatory saying, okay, as I scroll down, this shows some of the additional information you can relate to your own data, because this is your own data preview. And let's say this, this is the just demo here is our name. So you can change the schema mapping over here. These are the standard schemas specifying the column specific column settings. In this case, it remembered the last mapping, so we'll accept it and we go next. Now it's loading. Depending on the size of the data, it can take some time, but we can at this moment just take a look at the user guide. So we have the user guide telling people how to use it, integrated over here, okay, and how to do preview and over here. And in the original, the initial intro, it even have the videos people can click on to see. Yeah. So we can also look into the previous job that have been done. So you can see at which time, who loaded it, what was done and at what time and things of that nature. So while this is going, we could do this. Okay, now it's done. And we can go back to this. You see this data set is loaded. Now it is loaded. We can do data view, or let's just go to the QC view. Yeah. So now it's doing the QC. The QC is completed. So now this is interesting, quite interesting here. So we see this is the address layer. We can also change to this layer. And the schema is the state schema. You can in fact change to the local schema. Local schema will be just looking at your own data in your own column names. Because state schema is an extension of national NINA standard, adding a few columns the state requires. So if I switch to local schema, in the event that the local using their own names rather than state name, this will be all their own schema name. So different view, we think it's important, but by default, we're using the state name. You can further identify the particular thing that you want to search for. We provide two filters to do. And here we have the QC at the layer level. It's more informational, saying how many records and who loaded it and what have you. And at the schema level, it will show, hey, you're having some schema issues here. And because this is saying that missing required value for the discrepancy agency ID. This is saying the update, I guess, is also missing required value because to NINA standard, these are all mandatory. When mandatory means you cannot have null values in there. Okay. In fact, by hovering over, you will be able to do this. Okay. So by hovering many of the places, it shows the definition of that. Okay. And boy, in the interest of time, I need to move on really quickly, and won't have we have so much to talk about. But anyhow, let me go back to the feature. So at the feature level, you can open this up, and you can look at one thing. You can filter only the type of features. Let's say we like to see any address sequences being validated or duplicate address. Maybe we could do just duplicate addresses. See how many duplicate addresses we have. We have a bunch of them. We have actually 1,046 records. They have the variation. Essentially, this particular records, we have quite a few of them all over there. They are all identical. And this is vertical view of it. It's saying this being how duplicate. So anything red is red flag, we're having this, okay? And yes, I don't have time anymore, and wish I could show you interlayer. Under interlayer, we have the fishbone analysis, and we can do things of that. But yeah, anyhow, I need to move on to back to our presentation here. All right, LRS and transportation is really our core competence, I would say, and we share some of the challenges, and then we talk about how we deal with it. And LRS pain points, and as I don't know how many of you are in the transportation sector, and if you are, and please please raise your hand or chat so we know you are in this space. But anyhow, LRS, I think stability, the measure stability, temporal, and topology and visualization is all I think is lacking, to say it really quickly. So one of the most recent application we have done, by the way, I'm coming here to just show you briefly about, this is Ninja that I'm gonna highlight today. And we have LinearBench Mobile. Essentially, on your mobile phone, you can download the app, which will allow you to do live tracking and showing the asset which you have. I highly recommend you take a look at that. Certainly, we have mobile straight line diagram. These are the first in the nation that we have for LR solutions on mobile phone. And we have the LinearBench for HPMS, for the LinearBench Explorer, for straight line diagrams and time space diagrams and what have you. So these are all different solutions. If you go on to LinearBench channel, you will see them. But I would like to highlight the most recent application, which is Event Ninja. Event Ninja, as you can see, is a Esri custom application. Okay, it is using Esri ecosystem. It's essentially equivalent to Event Editor, but we try to address something, adding things that's unique, so that you can use Ninja when it fits. And it's accessing the same data infrastructure and writes to the same database, so you can interchangeably using the two. Okay. And with that, I will see if I can get signed correctly. And I forgot, last minute, I forgot the username. Okay, I just got a phone message saying I was almost right. So yeah, so that's it. Let's see. Oh, it didn't work. Oops. That's embarrassing. Let me double check on this. I thought this is correct. Ah, got it. We have 10 minutes. But okay, this is West Virginia's roads and highway data. And in this weekend over here, let's say we like to look at Charleston, West Virginia. So we're going to zoom into Charleston, West Virginia. And we are going to select a route, or we can zoom in further close to in this area. Let's say this is the area of concern. And we could either use a drop down to pick a route within this area, or we could use this route selection tool, maybe select this guy. No, we'd like to select something else. Select the other route. I think this route. Yeah. Okay. So we select, which is US 119 going northbound. Okay. So once we select, we have the time space diagram showing up over here. And we don't have routes yet. So we are going to look at ADT. So this will bring up randomly all the ADTs along this route. Okay, and you can see this historical route. And this indicates, hey, used to be a version of the ADT, and for that, and also we had another one over here. And what's interesting is we see a gap over here, okay? And these are the current ones, okay? These are 3 records at this moment. And we like to see, hey, how about we're gonna close this gap? What it will take to close gap? And the one way to do that is going over to correction, okay? And we highlight the sky, we drag it. And as you drag along, it snaps right over here. Then this is how easy it is to fix this gap. And if we decide to do gap over here on the other direction, snap, and the gap is fixed. And also notice, we're using referent, meaning if I move along, it shows the intersection and with not only the route ID, but the route name, in this case is Gantley Drive, and at particular measure. And so this will be able to commit. Okay, as parameters invalid. We do have an issue here, and we don't have time to address it, but trust me, it was working before. It is not right now, and we need to figure that out. There are many features, and these are essentially saying we have 3 records. If I can still, yeah. So we have 3 records in this collection. We are modifying. You can go individually, making changes and what have you. You can also, lock in. And here is the from measure. If you drop down, you will be able to select a different crossing section as a reference. It will automatically adjust the from measure. And of course, user can always switch back to the measure mode. In this case, is like this. And this is spatial temporal. At this moment, when I zoom in, zoom out, we are in this scale. But if we zoom in the temporal layer, so we're zooming in this scale in this. So I have 5 minutes, and I still have a lot to talk about. So let me switch back to my slide. Okay, ADAS dashboard. We have built a bunch of dashboards, and I would say the enabler was the LRS Data Mart with FME enabled pipeline. So let's actually do this. So we have HPMS dashboards with storyboard, story map integrated. ArcGIS, yeah, the enabler is this. And these are some snapshots of screens of the dashboard collection. And this is the HPMS one. And I will have, this is the HPMS, this is the pavement one, showing the LRIs along the milepost of a highway. In this case is I-10, Interstate 10, and the changes of the LRI rating and the other running and what have you. So you can see the condition. So, and again, this is important. This illustrates the pipeline, because pipeline is the enabler, and with the data mart and connecting different silos and getting into different dashboards. And I think that's, I have 3 minutes. I guess I'm gonna stop here. I really do not have time for this. So any questions? We have 3 minutes, 2 minutes for questions. Okay, you know how to find us. We're holding a virtual booth, and we have people attending the booth all the time during your conference hours. And we can be found LinkedIn. If you search in Gistic and search my name, and you will see many of my articles and posts regarding in the area, mostly in LRS. And we have YouTube channel. If you search on LinearBench, you will see that. And you're welcome to contact with me via my email. By the way, I do not tweet, and I just don't know how to tweet. And here's our website. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you allow me to demo our